That was the Neo 60 core, and I was kind of forced to buy. Alright, well, not forced, but... Okay, just look at this. So, I was literally writing my essay, my final essay for English 101, and I was like, oh, I don't like the sound of my keyboard right now, because I had just taken my headphones off. So I went to open my keyboard, and the JST connector snapped clean off. So what I have the husk. I've harvested the holy pandas and the keycaps, and I have the husk of the tofu left here. I ended up buying the Neo 60 core. I also got it with a PP plate and tri-mode hot swap in case I want to try wireless. What if I like wireless? What if wireless is my new favorite thing? I don't want to be keyboardless. The Ducky doesn't work either. Like half the keys don't work, and the spray lubed it like a while back. So the spray lube messed with the PCB. Now half the keys don't work. I'll get back when the parts are here. So you're probably wondering at this point, Zeb, if it was just the JST connector that broke, why didn't you just buy a new JST connector? And I have actually no valid excuse for that. Matter of fact, I did buy a new JST connector, but the reason why I bought a new keyboard is because I actually have been looking at the Neos for a while and like upgrading my keyboard. So in classic keyboard enthusiast fashion, I just decided to buy a whole new keyboard. Included in the keyboard comes the plate, fork, and stabilizers, the O-ring and gaskets, some standoffs and extra screws, 2 different color feet, beige and black, the USB-C to USB-A cable. If you purchase the triple mode connection PCB, it comes with the dongle, the plate of your choice. I chose polypropylene, the PCB and foams, a keycap switch puller and screwdriver for the weight, and of course the case itself. I chose retro white with the mirror dusk weight. This keyboard starts at $80, which I think is a little bit of a misleading price because for $80 you're getting the solder PCB with no plate at all. And that's just the keyboard kit, which means you are also going to have to provide your own switches and keycaps. So to give you a better idea of how much you're going to be paying for this keyboard, I spent around $230 in total. With that being said, they do absolutely spoil you with the accessories in this keyboard. It gives you so many options. There's infinite possibilities on things to do. For this price, you're not only getting an extremely customizable keyboard, but also a really premium experience because this keyboard is absolutely gorgeous. The first thing I always do when building a keyboard is I lube the stabilizers. So today I have TXAP clip-in stabilizers. I'm going to be lubing the wires with XHDBTZ, the inserts and housings with 205G0, and I'm using the glorious lube brush. For a more in-depth tutorial on how to lube stabilizers, I'll leave the one by Teja Types in the description. And then it's always good practice to test out and make sure your stabilizers sound good before you go through and finish the board. And then by the time I was done with my stabilizers, my switches had just come in the mail. The switches I'm using in this build are the HMX Dune switches. They're a little bit more expensive, coming in at 42 cents a switch rather than the 25 to 35 that HMX normally offers. And these switches are brand new. I'm like, literally there were no reviews when I purchased the switches. This might actually be the first video uploaded about these switches that like contain them or talk about them. All that was left to do was to put on the feet, switches, and keycaps, and then assemble the keyboard. So this footage of me putting on the keycaps did get corrupted due to storage issues, and it was the same footage that also had me assembling the keyboard, so we're just going to move on to the sound test from here. Hey, I really appreciate you making it this far into this video. I'm going to use these last few seconds to talk about what I'm doing here for my viewers who watch my channel a little more. So I haven't been uploading in actually 9 months from now because my computer basically doesn't turn on. It takes like 45 minutes just to get it to the desktop. The reason why I was able to make this video is because I was just able to record it with my phone and edit it on my laptop, but those types of videos I'm a little bit less inspired for than the gaming ones that I do with my friends. So if I have video ideas like these, then I will upload them, but right now I'm building a new PC, and that's not going to be finished for a little while, so uploads are going to be less consistent. So yeah, that's all I wanted to say. Thank you for watching, and I'll see you in 45 years.